Which of the following entities recommends transmit/receive channels and other parameters for auxiliary and repeater stations? A. Frequency Spectrum Manager appointed by the FCC. B. Volunteer Frequency Coordinator recognized by local amateurs. C. FCC Regional Field Office. D. International Telecommunications Union. B. Volunteer Frequency Coordinator recognized by local amateurs. Which of the following is the result of the fact that the amateur radio service is secondary in all or portions of some amateur bands such as portions of the 70 cm band? A. U.S. Amateurs may find non-amateur stations in those portions, and must avoid interfering with them. B. U.S. Amateurs must give foreign amateur stations priority in those portions. C. International communications are not permitted in those portions. D. Digital transmissions are not permitted in those portions. A. U.S. Amateurs may find non-amateur stations in those portions, and must avoid interfering with them. How soon after passing the examination for your first amateur radio license may you operate a transmitter on an amateur radio service frequency? A. Immediately. B. 30 days after the test date. C. As soon as your operator/station license grant appears in the FCC's license database. D. You must wait until you receive your license in the mail from the FCC. C. As soon as your operator/station license grant appears in the FCC's license database. What types of amateur stations can automatically retransmit the signals of other amateur stations? A. Auxiliary, beacon, or earth stations. B. Repeater, auxiliary, or space stations. C. Beacon, repeater, or space stations. D. Earth, repeater, or space stations. B. Repeater, auxiliary, or space stations. When is an amateur station permitted to transmit without a control operator? A. When using automatic control, such as in the case of a repeater. B. When the station licensee is away and another licensed amateur is using the station. C. When the transmitting station is an auxiliary station. D. Never. D. Never. When must the station licensee make the station and its records available for FCC inspection? A. At any time 10 days after notification by the FCC of such an inspection. B. At any time upon request by an FCC representative. C. Only after failing to comply with an FCC notice of violation. D. Only when presented with a valid warrant by an FCC official or government agent. B. At any time upon request by an FCC representative. What is the meaning of the procedural signal CQ? A. Call on the quarter hour. B. A new antenna is being tested, no station should answer. C. Only the call station should transmit. D. Calling any station. D. Calling any station. What type of tones are used to control repeaters linked by the Internet Relay Linking Project IRLP protocol? A. DTMF. B. CTCSS. C. Echolink. D. Subaudible. A. DTMF. What is meant by the term check in reference to a formal traffic message? A. The number of words or word equivalents in the text portion of the message. B. The value of the money order attached to the message. C. A list of stations that have relayed the message. D. A box on the message form that indicates that the message was received and / or relayed. A. The number of words or word equivalents in the text portion of the message. What can happen if the antennas at opposite ends of a VHF or UHF line of sight radio link are not using the same polarization? A. The modulation side bands might become inverted. B. Signals could be significantly weaker. C. Signals have an echo effect on voices. D. Nothing significant will happen. B. Signals could be significantly weaker. How does the wavelength of the radio wave relate to its frequency? A. The wavelength gets longer as the frequency increases. B. The wavelength gets shorter as the frequency increases. C. There is no relationship between wavelength and frequency. D. The wavelength depends on the bandwidth of the signal. B. The wavelength gets shorter as the frequency increases. What is generally the best time for long-distance 10-meter band propagation by the F-layer? A. From dawn to shortly after sunset during periods of high sunspot activity. B. From shortly after sunset to dawn during periods of high sunspot activity. C. From dawn to shortly after sunset during periods of low sunspot activity. D. From shortly after sunset to dawn during periods of low sunspot activity. A. From dawn to shortly after sunset during periods of high sunspot activity. What is the source of a high-pitched whine that varies with engine speed in a mobile transceiver's receive audio? A. The ignition system. B. The alternator. C. The electric fuel pump. D. Anti-lock braking system controllers. B. The alternator. What does the term RIT mean? A. Receiver input tone. B. Receiver incremental tuning. C. Rectifier inverter test. D. Remote input transmitter. B. Receiver incremental tuning. Which term describes the rate at which electrical energy is used? A. Resistance. B. Current. C. Power. D. Voltage. C. Power. What is the approximate amount of change, measured in decibels dB, of a power decrease from 12 watts to 3 watts? A. Minus 1 dB. B. Minus 3 dB. C. Minus 6 dB. D. Minus 9 dB. C. Minus 6 dB. What is the ability to store energy in a magnetic field called? A. Admittance. B. Capacitance. C. Resistance. D. Inductance. D. Inductance. What is the voltage across a 10 ohm resistor if a current of 1 ampere flows through it? A. 1 volt. B. 10 volts. C. 11 volts. D. 9 volts. B. 10 volts. What type of component is often used as an adjustable volume control? A. Fixed resistor. B. Power resistor. C. Potentiometer. D. Transformer. C. Potentiometer. What does the abbreviation LED stand for? A. Low emission diode. B. Light emitting diode. C. Liquid emission detector. D. Long echo delay. B. Light emitting diode. What is component 4 in figure T2? Its symbol is 2 repeating series of humps with a pair of parallel lines between them. A. Variable inductor. B. Double pole switch. C. Potentiometer. D. Transformer. D. Transformer. Which of the following devices or circuits changes an alternating current into a varying direct current signal? A. Transformer. B. Rectifier. C. Amplifier. D. Reflector. B. Rectifier. Which of the following describes combining speech with an RF carrier signal? A. Impedance matching. B. Oscillation. C. Modulation. D. Low-pass filtering. C. Modulation. What is a Part 15 device? A. An unlicensed device that may emit low-power radio signals on frequencies used by a licensed service. B. An amplifier that has been type certified for amateur radio. C. A device for long-distance communications using special code sanctioned by the International Amateur Radio Union. D. A type of test set used to determine whether a transmitter complies with FCC Regulation 91.15. A. An unlicensed device that may emit low-power radio signals on frequencies used by a licensed service. What is the primary purpose of a dummy load? A. To prevent transmitting signals over the air when making tests. B. To prevent overmodulation of a transmitter. C. To improve the efficiency of an antenna. D. To improve the signal-to-noise ratio of a receiver. A. To prevent transmitting signals over the air when making tests. What is the correct way to connect a voltmeter to a circuit? A. In series with a circuit. B. In parallel with a circuit. C. In quadrature with a circuit. D. In phase with a circuit. B. In parallel with a circuit. Which type of voice mode is most often used for long-distance weak signal contacts on the VHF and UHF bands? A. FM. B. DRM. C. SSB. D. PM. C. SSB. What mode of transmission is used for satellite beacons? A. RTTY. B. CW. C. Packet. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. Which of the following methods is used to locate sources of noise interference or jamming? A. Echolocation. B. Doppler radar. C. Radio direction finding. D. Phase locking. C. Radio direction finding. Which of the following best describes broadband Hamnet TM, also referred to as a high-speed multimedia network? A. An amateur radio-based data network using commercial Wi-Fi gear with modified firmware. B. Wide bandwidth digital voice mode employing DRM protocols. C. A satellite communications network using modified commercial satellite TV hardware. D. An internet linking protocol used to network repeaters. A. An amateur radio-based data network using commercial Wi-Fi gear with modified firmware. What is the approximate length, in inches, of a quarter wavelength vertical antenna for 146 MHz? A. 112. B. 50. C. 19. D. 12. C. 19. Which of the following types of feed line has the lowest loss at VHF and UHF? A. 50 ohm flexible coax. B. Multi-conductor and balanced cable. C. Air insulated hardline. D. 75 ohm flexible coax. C. Air insulated hardline. What can happen if a lead-acid storage battery is charged or discharged too quickly? A. The battery could overheat, give off flammable gas, or explode. B. The voltage can become reversed. C. The memory effect will reduce the capacity of the battery. D. All of these choices are correct. A. The battery could overheat, give off flammable gas, or explode. Under what circumstances is it safe to climb a tower without a helper or observer? A. When no electrical work is being performed. B. When no mechanical work is being performed. C. When the work being done is not more than 20 feet above the ground. D. Never. D. Never. What is the maximum power level that an amateur radio station may use at the VHF frequencies before an RF exposure evaluation is required? A. 1500 watts PEP transmitter output. B. 1 watt forward power. C. 50 watts PEP at the antenna. D. 50 watts PEP reflected power. C. 50 watts PEP at the antenna.